All right. I'm just wanting to get ahead of some of the narratives and speculations that I know is coming. And obviously, this is all my opinion too on the insider selling. But the last 2 days, some of you probably noticed that Alex Karp has sold off almost 9 million shares, which I'll go over the sales themselves too, but also add some context. So for the sales themselves first, he sold off 4.5 million shares for $160 million on September 16th, and then most recently, another 4.25 million shares for $154 million on September 17th. So just in 2 days, that's around $300 million for the CEO. And note, these are probably two separate transactions just because of the type of shares being converted, and I'll walk through those two so you can understand that. Now, it goes without saying, too, at face value, these are big dollar amounts for any Joe Schmo. And you can, of course, bring up the argument there's always for anyone who's a co founder and following the trading plan, even if they are the face of the company, can do as they please with shares that are vested. But as with any double edged sword, any optics is going to be out in the open to be judged by anyone, which makes all this open to interpretation. Now, with the Form 144s, it doesn't show the exact shares remaining yet, but we have the latest Form 4s from not too long ago at August 20th, where we can see the previous holdings after those transactions. After all those last transactions, he had around 6.4 million Class A shares, but as I alluded to before, typically he converts over some restricted stock units or RSUs, which he has about 23.7 million shares from his old 2010 compensation plan, as well as 2.6 million shares from his 2020 compensation plan so far. And then for this Class B, he has 48.7 million shares. So looking at the bigger overall picture, he offloaded almost 9 million shares of the remaining 81 million-ish shares. So I'm not here to tell you what is good or bad. It's up to the individual investor's perspective and what you balance as fair compensation, say, versus showing a vote of less confidence because he's selling shares. Everyone's going to have their own take from he's been in the company for decades, so it's well deserved no matter what, or to the other end of hating any insider sell because technically it is additional sales pressure. Although the argument there can be we haven't seen too much of the recent price action reflect any large downward swings, so that's not necessarily telling of the sales themselves, but more about the market and demand and how they want these shares up even at this valuation, and that's with the added selling pressure from one of the bigger shareholders in the company. So I'll continue to monitor for more Alex Karp sales, of course, and with the coming Form 4, we'll see exactly which conversions were utilized to sell off shares. But I'm in the boat as a long-term shareholder, it's noise, and as a co-founder, there's definitely a level of well-deserved diversification for those who took an early chance on Palantir, where things could have gone hill at any point, especially at more fragile times for the company earlier on. But I'm also realistic in the current present day that this is still technically short-term sell pressure, and if you look at it from face value, someone could twist the narrative saying Karp is dumping on retail traders willing to buy the stock at a premium. I've been pretty open on my thoughts on current price action that the price reflected today has a lot of execution and growth priced in. But Palantir, as of late, continues to raise the bar each earnings and giving the market more confidence in their execution of actually scaling growth for this 80 billion valuation. And the added S&P inclusion is a risk-off event as well, showing a vote of confidence in their financial sustainability, although some can argue it's still artificial buy pressure for the stock and may be short-lived. So in the end, a lot of the valuation is up to the interpretation for those who believe growth is coming and being set up, and looking at not only the current quantitative and proven numbers, but the qualitative aspects of Palantir, like their product, customers, culture, everything that you can't necessarily put an exact dollar amount right now. So do as you will with the information. I just find it fascinating to look at the whole story. But what are your thoughts below? And I'll see you in the next video.